The president continues his Nairobi tour today, and today he is in Langata constituency. That is forming basis of our news this afternoon. Good afternoon and a warm welcome to KBC Lunchtime News on this 13th day of March 2025. Many thanks indeed for joining us, including those who are joining us on our social media spaces. My name is Njue. Brian Muraru will be our sign language interpreter for this live newscast. Straight to the news. A section of members from the Music Copyright Society of Kenya has alleged financial management and fraudulent withdrawals of funds meant for artist royalties by the society officials. They further claim the officials are still in office despite the expiry of their terms. The members, led by the former Music Copyright Society of Kenya National Chairman Bernard Mukaisi, said that the alleged fraud had prompted some members of the society to take legal action. The disgruntled members, filed an official report at Kilelesho Police Station calling for investigations and forensic audit of the society's accounts.
Hawa mandate yao iliisha na wameendelea kutoa pesa. Juzi tarehe on Friday, just last week Friday, wametoa 500,000. Before then walikuwa wametoa 2 million again. Wanalazimisha management kutoa pesa ili hali mandate yao iliisha. Ndio tumekuja hapa kuriport ya kwamba DCI na police IG watusaidie kustop huo wizi.
Agriculture and Livestock Development Cabinet Secretary Senator Mutahi Kagwe has today issued an order for the destruction of 27,518 bags of expired fertilizer currently stored in various national cereals and produce board facilities nationwide. The Kenya Bureau of Standards will oversee the safe disposal of the consignment of sulfate of ammonia fertilizer supplied to NCPB by Finetech Edge Limited.
The total delivery to NCPB by Finetech Edge Limited in December the year 2024 was 34,100 bags of 50 kgs each of fertilizer, which was approved by KEBS. However, 27,518 bags have been found to have expired. NCPB noted that the fertilizer had a short shelf life set to expire on February 28th, the year 2025, as indicated on the packaging. The supplier was promptly informed according to the CES and asked to provide fertilizer with a long shelf life, as the full consignment was unlikely to be sold before the expiration date. On February 27th, the year 2025, NCPB issued an order to hold the sale of this consignment. Additionally, on 4th March, the year 2025, KEBS seized the fertilizer and prohibited any further movement until its destruction was carried out. Kagwe assured that neither the government nor the Kenyan public will incur any financial loss or costs, noting that the supplier Finetech Edge Limited will bear the costs and losses associated with the destruction. CS Kagwe emphasized the government's commitment to ensuring that the Kenyan farmers have access to high-quality farm inputs while upholding public health and environmental standards at all times. Michael Mondiga for Lunchtime News.
Now, a youth group in Shariani, Kilifi County has launched a free talent training center to help the peers develop their skills in acrobatics, dance and traditional music. Speaking at the talent show, the founder of the center, Omar Abdallah, stated that the initiative aims to keep youths away from crime, drugs and teenage pregnancies while fostering talent development. Omar also said upon the government to support such programs, noting that most resources are often directed towards sports like soccer. Parents are also urged to support their children's talents, emphasizing that art and skills training are a crucial part of the CBC education curriculum.
Ni football, ni acrobats kama hivi, traditional dancers, waende mbali waweze kuperform ili wapate kipato, wakirudi nyumbani waweze kujitegemea. Watoto sasa hivi wakifunzwa tamaduni ni kama in another way, ni kama ni CBC bado, kwa sababu wanafunzwa how the practicality ya history yao inakuaga. Kwa hivyo wazazi ambao wanafikiria labda tamaduni zafaa zikuwe zimeachwa kufikia sasa, ujue wameweka minors.
In other news, property of unknown value was destroyed on Thursday morning by a fire that razed a section of the Limuru bus park in Samburu County. Efforts to extinguish the fire, which is said to have started at about 4 a.m., were unsuccessful due to the late arrival of firefighters. Residents are urging the county government to improve emergency response.
Moto ilianza kitu saa 10, lakini hatujui mahali moto hiyo ilitoka. Mimi nilitoka saa 10 nikakuta moshi imejaa, nikaita watu wa kupima moshi.
Kuna kitu naona imeokolewa, kila kitu yote imechomeka. Sasa sema pole sana juu nasikia watu wenye wakuzima moto wameshachelewa.
Tunaomba serikali itenge funds. Watu wakichomekewa kama ni emergency funds, watengeneze, iwekwe kiasi. Watu wakichomekewa wanasapotiwa kidogo, ndio waweze kuinua biashara zao na waweze kurudi kwa kazi.
Moving on, residents of Bulemia East Village in Butula constituency, Busia County, are facing a growing health crisis due to jigger infestation, with the most affected being children aged under 13 and the elderly. Speaking at an event organized by the Fred Odila Foundation to provide much-needed relief to victims, the foundation chairman Emmanuel Murunga emphasized the commitment to supporting communities in eradicating the menace and conserving the environment. So far, the foundation has reached over 100 victims across Busia County.
Tufanyi tu jiggers peke yake, tunafanya environment and climate change. Kwa health ndo hii tuko kwa jiggers, tunafanya sports na vitu zingine. So hapa hivi tulipo, tunashughulika na hii mambo na jiggers. Tunataka kufanya medical camp across Busia County. Enye taleta watu wote pamoja, si jiggers tu peke yake.
Naambia wale ambao wameathirika na funza kwamba usafi ndio kitu ya muhimu. Na kama unaona uko na funza na unaweza tupatia ripoti tufikie mapema, sisi tunapanga siku tunakuja kusaidia jamii katika hali ya kuondoa funza na uongozi uliopo.
To Kitui County, where farmers in Mwingi sub-county have been urged to adopt drought-resistant crops and use modern weather forecasts to cope with the devastating effects of climate change. Speaking during a two-day seminar organized by the Kenya Meteorological Department and the National Drought Management Authority in Mwingi, experts and traditionalists noted that climate change had disrupted traditional weather patterns, making indigenous prediction methods less reliable. The initiative aims to address these challenges and guide sustainable farming practices.
There is a long journey. There are so many things. The day.
Kama kwamba tutakuwa na mvua ya kutosha. So huo ujumbe umepewa wale community health workers waweze kueneza mashinani ili hawa community ama the population iweze kujitayarisha na kujua ni nini itafanya.
Ni wakati wa mvua na tunaingojea na tunatumia vitu kama miti kuona vile miti inaendelea na kuleta maua, tunasoma kutoka kwa hiyo miti na mvua inakuja. Lakini kwa wakati kama huu miti ile tunatumia ni kama imechelewa, hakuna dalili za kutuonyesha kama kuna mvua.
Wakulima wapande ile mimea inaweza kustahimili ama kuvumilia vipindi virefu vya jua, alafu kuwapatia mazao, na hiyo mimea ndio kwa kizungu tunaita drought resistant crops.
Elsewhere, the business community in Maralal town has urged the security apparatus in the area to intensify security and patrols to curb insecurity in the area, following a wave of banditry attacks that have affected their business and destabilized the economy of the area. Led by the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry Samburu chapter Andrew Washington Leakano, they presented their grievances to the Samburu Deputy County Commissioner, saying the bandits have been staging robberies on the roads and others breaking into shops in broad daylight, forcing them to close their businesses.
kuna bindugu mingi ambayo siko within. Kama ifanye kazi ambayo inapaswa kufanywa, hata kama ni NPS walipewa ama nini, serikali ichukue bunduki yao na serikali wafanye kazi yao ya security.
Kuna wahalifu ambao wanakuja na kushambulia wanabiashara na kuiba mali zao. So siku ya leo tumefurahi kwa sababu tumeongea na idara ya security na wametuhakikishia ya kwamba watatupatia security ya kutosha, watatupatia ofisa ambao watatosha.
Tumemarisha mambo ya patrol, tumeongea na washikadau wafanya biashara pia wachukue security measures, wawe na vitu kama CCTV, security lights, na ni mzuri hata kila premise iwe na watchman.
Now, Kisumu County Government has lauded the elevation of the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital to a Level 6 facility and its subsequent establishment as a state corporation. Kisumu County Executive Committee member for Health, Dr. Gregory Ganda, says the move will relieve the county of the financial burden it had shouldered over the years, paving the way for the devolved unit to shift focus on improving other health facilities. Wycliffe Okech with a report.
Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital was accorded a Level 6 status and subsequently given the nod to be established as a state corporation during a cabinet sitting on Tuesday at State House in Nairobi, joining the ranks of the Kenyatta National Hospital in Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital. The Kisumu County government leadership said it has been pumping over 1.2 billion shillings into the facility every financial year, but now the amount can be channeled into developing other lower-level facilities, such as Kisumu County Referral Hospital.
Now, when this 1.2 billion load is taken away from us, that means then we can reinvest in the people of Kisumu in terms of the Level 4 facilities, in terms of Kisumu County Referral Hospital, and in terms of the primary healthcare facilities. We always hear that we have less staff, we have less commodities, but it's because we are very constrained. Jaramogi takes a lot of constraint from us.
This is a dream, one of the major things that we set out to do from the beginning. So this is one other legacy project delivered by the governor of the county of Kisumu.
The hospital's Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Richard Lesiampe, said the elevation is also poised to bring to the hospital expanded cancer care facilities, among other infrastructural expansions.
And we believe very strongly that we are going to become a regional comprehensive cancer center. It is going to go a long way, to improve on their livelihoods and the lives of our patients.
Over time, patients in the region have been traveling long distances in pursuit of critical and advanced medical care, but the same will now be accessed closer home.
The most fundamental thing when it comes to healthcare is closer to health, is closer to the facility. And therefore, having all these specialties in Kisumu or Jaramogi will indeed stop these outflows of individuals or even cash or even resources, getting out of Kisumu County. That means that people from Homa Bay, Migori, Siaya, Kericho can get a facility near their place where their relatives can come in the morning and leave by evening to visit them. Those things also mean a lot when somebody is admitted.
The elevation will also attract specialized treatment to the facility, in addition to providing hands-on training to medical science students in the region. For Lunchtime News, I am Wycliffe Okech.
Still on health, Busia County Health Officers led by Deputy Governor and County Executive Member for Health Arthur Odera have visited and assessed the situation at the Kocholia, Teso North Sub-County. This visit follows a video which went viral online showing Kolanya Boys High School students lying on the floor, writhing in pain, and attended to after they were involved in a road accident. The Deputy Governor said all the 32 students admitted to the facility were treated and discharged, downplaying the video as a political instigated move aimed at tainting the image of the county. This as Teso North Sub-County Medical Superintendent Evans Umbeiwo reiterated that the facility has the capacity and manpower to handle any kind of emergencies.
Very selective, just focusing on the boys that were lying down and not capturing the ones that were seated or lying on the benches. The boys were in pain. Some of them were in severe pain. They had injuries. They have all been treated. The pain has been relieved. They were released from hospital. 9 were referred. On the 9th, which was the next day, all of them that came to Kocholia were discharged. They went home. Now we have credible information that all the 9 that were referred have also been discharged and they've gone home.
With a team of staff within the facility, we were able to respond to the emergency, and we were able to attend to all the patients within a record of 2 hours. This shows that despite the challenges that are there, we were able to attend to all the patients.
And I want to assure the public that all those casualties who are received here were well taken care of, and we are not able to report any incident of death or probably the complications.
Let's switch gears to matters education now. A year after floods wreaked havoc at Madare North Primary School in Nairobi County in April of 2024, pupils at the school on Wednesday received a donation of 980 grade 4 textbooks and 10 desks from an international non-governmental organization, We Love You Foundation. The school's head teacher, Boniface Matindi, termed the support as a huge boost for pupils, many of whom come from underprivileged backgrounds.
We have painted 27 classrooms in and out of this school, and also replaced the mabati of the classrooms that was leaking, and also donated 10 desks and also 980 textbooks for the grade 4.
Now we have books. We lost all our books in grade 4 and 5, but now the learners can be able to learn after getting all these books. We are very grateful and happy. And as you know, we are in a marginalized area. This means the learners will come out in the future. Like Mandela said, one day the poor will reign the king of learning, or after getting education. They'll be able to get that one.
In other news, illegal products that continue to be smuggled in the country through the Kenya-Somalia border pose a big challenge to locally manufactured goods. This is according to Kennedy Njue and the State Department for Agriculture. During a stakeholders engagement in Garissa County, Njue from the Border Management Secretariat said they were assessing the extent of porosity in the borderline counties in the northeastern region. Security officers from borderline sub-counties in Garissa County identified Amuma, Welmarel, Hamei, Liboi, Sariraha, Sinai as notorious cut lines used to smuggle goods.
It's very high. You note that the border is closed, but we still have trade happening. Meaning, therefore, this trade can only happen through our cut lines, through our points of entry and exit, which have not been gazetted.
We're looking forward to partnering with all and sundry, along with body, the local community, the leaders. We should all come on board.
And still on security agencies in Samburu County have warned individuals involved in the illegal trade of saddlewood in efforts to protect the country's forest and curb the illegal trade that threatens local ecosystems.
During a special court session at Maralal police station, the authorities destroyed over 1 ton of illegally transported sandalwood, which was impounded in the Lodokojek area of Samburu West, following a tip-off from locals in the area.
I would like to give warning to the smugglers of sandalwood here in Samburu that their days are numbered, and we shall do everything that is possible to ensure that we eradicate the destruction of forests in Samburu.
Elsewhere, Kwale County Assembly has passed a bill which, if enacted, will enable residents in the area to get loans at 5% interest in a bid to boost their businesses. The proposed law prioritizes youth, women and people with disabilities.
Vijana, wakina mama na wale ambao hawajiwezi
wataweza kupewa mikopo ambao watalipa, na mkopo huu ambao Kwale County inataka kulipa ni mkopo ambao unalipwa kwa riba ya chini sana.
Meanwhile, Embu County Senator Alexander Monye Mundegi has expressed his support for the political pact between President William Ruto and Orange Democratic Movement leader Raila Odinga, saying it is crucial for fostering national unity and unlocking much needed development.
Ningeomba sisi tuungane pamoja tuwe kama hiyo ndio dawa ya kulete sisi pamoja kaunti ya 47 ndio tuweze kupata maendeleo ambaye agenda yetu kama nikiwa senator ni mambo ya maji ya irrigation, ni mambo ya parapara, ni mambo ya afya na pia mambo ya elimu. Tutaweza kuendelea mbele bila tukiwa na amani.
And the Kenya National Union of Teachers Bungoma County Chapter has faulted the Ministry of Education for poor implementation of the competency-based curriculum, calling for the introduction of examinations rather than assessments.
Tunataka grade 9 wafanye mtihani. Mtihani ndio utawezesha tujue mwanafunzi gani atachukua sciences pathway, mwanafunzi gani atachukua arts. Hii mambo ya assessment ni porojo mtupu. Kenya National Examination Council imeshindwa kutem cheating in the exams. So if wameshindwa kutem cheating in the exams, watatemu namna gani kupatiana hao watoto marks ambayo sio yao kama ni assessment?
Martini Maslin for Lunchtime News.
Elsewhere, stakeholders in the reproductive health sector have called for concerted efforts from the private and public sectors to improve access to family planning services for women and girls across the country. Led by InSupply Health Organization Chief Executive Officer Yasmin Chandana, the stakeholders cited the rapidly shifting donor landscape and the changing funding priorities as key factors inhibiting access to quality reproductive health services. The stakeholders who spoke during a family planning landscape workshop in Nairobi County additionally rooted for the integration of private players such as pharmacists to enhance awareness.
If pharmacies can become quality providers of family planning and reproductive health and even self-care, women, we've already demonstrated, women need that, they seek that. And this will help us decongest public sector and make space for women who can afford to pay and are willing to pay and who are seeking they're not interested so much in the free product, they're interested in a quality service. They care about privacy, they care about an informed provider who can tell them everything they need to know when they have questions about their reproductive health, and they care about confidentiality and convenience.
This is important for us to create awareness across the ecosystem with different partners to also recognize that pharmacists can now play a bigger role in terms of family planning. But beyond that, it's also to reach the clients so that they know that they have more options and they can access family planning methods, contraceptives, at the channel of their choice, but also they can also access family planning at an administration that they prefer.
Moving on, the National Construction Authority NCA has instructed tenants of two-story buildings in Nanyuki Town, Laikipia County to vacate, labeling them as unsafe. The buildings owned by the same businessman are a 6-story and a 5-story structures that have been leased for both residential and commercial purposes. In issuing the order, NCA Executive Director Maurice Akech stated that they had received complaints from the public regarding the construction of the buildings. After conducting an inspection, they discovered several building defects, prompting the decision to evacuate all tenants for their safety.
Right, siku ya leo kuangalia hii haya majengo mawili ambaye kwa hakika mkiangalia zinakaa haziko sawa, na ndio tumefika tuweze kusaidia kwa jukumu yetu serikali kuu na kaunti ni kuhakikisha kwamba nyumba zote zimejengwa kwa njia sawa ambaye haina dosari na iko safe. Tumempatia siku 14 which is 2 weeks atafute yule mwenye amehitimu structural engineer akuje akague hizi nyumba mbili, atengeneze report, apeleke kwa kaunti ya Laikipia na apeleke kwa NCA, na kulingana na hiyo report vile itatengenezwa ndio tutachukua hatua.
Now, a section of elected officials of the Maendeleo ya Wanawake organization has sued their national chairperson and secretary over misappropriation and embezzlement of over 50 million shillings worth of women's funds. However, the national chair, Rehab Mwikali, told Judge Stella Mutuku that the displeased officials intend to destabilize the organization and cause anarchy and strive to the members by filing the case. Details in the Scales of Justice segment.
Appearing before Civil Division Judge Stella Mutuku, Maendeleo ya Wanawake Organization Chair Rehab Mwikali faced several accusations, including abuse of office in the alleged sacking of the 5 elected officials.
We were given 20 million. It was paid through the Ministry of Gender. I was the chair of that. It was paid by government, but through the ministry. So this was not the first. What may have been paid to Rahab is maybe an allowance like everybody else.
Mwikali was also accused of lacking transparency and accountability and flouting the Maendeleo ya Wanawake Constitution. However, in her defense, Mwikali disputed the claims, stating that the 5 officials had abdicated their mandate.
At times, as the leader, you have to forge ahead. Listen, yes. Call board meeting, yes. And when the decision is passed, my work is to be implemented for the benefit of the institution and the women who elected me.
Elsewhere, former Minister Raphael Tuju has urged the High Court to set aside orders of contempt of court issued against him. Through Senior Counsel Paul Nyamodi, Tuju told Judge Wayua Mongare that the orders arose from a case in 2020 when he was hospitalized after having an accident.
This morning's proceedings, the business that the court had reserved for this morning, await the outcome of the notice of motion dated the 10th of March.
The judge directed the submissions to be heard on 30th April.
It is public knowledge that I had an accident. I was in ICU and I was actually in coma. So it's kind of preposterous for somebody to say that I did not obey court orders when I was not in a position to obey any court orders.
Meanwhile, the burial dispute of the late James Samburu, father to Kiambu County Deputy Governor Rosemary Njue Kirika, will take a little longer after key witness Kang'ethe Mburu brought out new issues during the hearing.
Mzee hakukuwa anakaa hiyo nyumba. Alikuwa anakaa. Swali na kuuliza, aliwekewa sumu nyumba gani? Koti nasema inaondoka. Nyumba gani? Mahali uji ulipikiwa. Alafu akaletewa koti ya juu. Nyumba gani?
Principal Magistrate James Gitonga was informed that the deceased had an initial home and a family in Gatanga, Murang'a County, before relocating to Gilgil, Nakuru County, where he married another wife.
Begin with, I confirm that we shall have a further hearing on the 18th of March, which will be next week on Tuesday. And we shall also, I'm also actually marking it for further hearing on the 25th of March, so that in between those 2 days we should be able to conclude.
Both families have disagreed on the burial place. The hearing continues on 18th March 2025. And at Madaraka Law Court, Mohammed Osman Abdili was charged with conspiracy to defraud over 200,000 shillings from his employer, Abdi Mohammed Ali. Appearing before Principal Magistrate Joseph Karanjahe, Osman pleaded not guilty to the offence and was released on a cash bail of 2 million.
A bond of Kenya shillings 5 million with one surety in the same amount, for a cash bail of Kenya shillings 2 million with 2 contact persons. Number 3, in addition, the accused is to deposit his travel documents at his passport.
Moving on, a section of Turkana professionals is demanding urgent action to address the escalating security situation in the region, following a deadly attack on Tuesday that left 6 people dead and 8 others wounded in Baragoi's Kilepoi village. The group, led by Central Organization of Trade Unions Assistant Secretary General Ernest Nadome, is calling on Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen to convene an emergency roundtable meeting. They cited urgency in providing lasting solutions to the ongoing tribal clashes that have plagued the region for years, and calling for the reshuffling of security officers who they say have failed to protect the community.
In a statement issued after the deadly attack in Samburu North, the professionals from Turkana, led by Central Organization of Trade Unions Assistant Secretary General Ernest Nadome, condemned the violence that has left families devastated and livelihoods destroyed.
We lost over 5,000 cattle. We lost 2 people. There were also casualties on the side of Samburu, quite a number also. They lost. The police shamelessly, the security agencies shamelessly went to pursue these guys at 4 p.m. and the attack happened in the morning. By that time, the animals had gone. Those guys were nowhere to be seen.
We have lost 440 camels and 46 donkeys. So we are calling upon the government to come to our rescue.
Nadome called for a comprehensive approach to ending the cycle of bloodshed, highlighting the failure of the region's security apparatus despite the presence of multiple security agencies.
The government to come in na address zile shida tuko nazo. The leadership ya Samburu also, we want you to take the lead. The politicians take the lead. We cannot continue like this. People are dying. Kesho, saizi, you cannot travel in Samburu. There is total insecurity. The roads are impassable. People are dying like rats.
While the tragic loss of life and cattle in this latest incident adds to a growing list of casualties, the group is urging local leaders and the government to step up and confront the root causes of the conflict.
The Samburu County government leadership, from the MCA of that given area to the governor, they have not come out to condemn this incident. Up to date, today is the 3rd day. Nobody has come. The people are struggling on the ground. They have been left with the calves. No cows. The calves are dying. What are we supposed to do?
The government to bring in Turkana leaders, Samburu leaders, on a round table.
With the community desperately seeking peace, they insist that justice and security must not be sacrificed for political convenience. The deadly assault in Baragoi has sparked renewed calls for decisive government action to bring lasting peace to this volatile region.
We are demanding Murkomen to remove all these guys and bring in a new team. Because for sure, we wonder, what are they doing there? Taxpayers' money, they're paid millions and millions of Kenya shillings, and they're virtually doing nothing completely.
Tension remains high in Samburu days after the deadly cattle raid. Ben Chumba, Lunchtime News.
Very well, at about 33 minutes past the top of the hour, we are due for a fast break. But when we come back, we still have more news, cinemas and theatres, and the last team to qualify for the UEFA Champions League quarterfinals. All that when we come back.
Karibuni. Hii ndio bezi ya the best local entertainment.
Sitakubali ukali.
Program on CGTN and the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation.
Utaki nini? Umesahau I'm the last thing standing between wewe na jela.
Yani na unajua ni mdingo na unakaa naye.
Mimi na Alex tutakuwa rich. Hata mamanika tutahamia Diani.
Watena na huyu ni mkora tu kama Teresia.
We make a very good couple.
I hope sijarokia mapema sana. Sayuna villages.
Hivi mambo
mapema sana. Sayuna villages.
Hivi mambo tu ya uzea.
Unajua you can talk to me